Think about the last time you walked away from a conversation feeling entirely drained, confused, and somehow completely committed to a favor you never actually wanted to do. You were completely sure of your own boundaries before you opened your mouth. But somewhere between hello and goodbye, your reality got subtly rewritten, and you found yourself agreeing to things that don't benefit you at all. We like to think we are entirely in control of our choices. We believe that if someone tried to control us, we would spot it immediately. We picture manipulators as these cinematic villains, scheming in the shadows with obvious malicious intent. But the truth is much quieter, and it is happening right now. The strings are being pulled by the people you interact with every day, and the most unsettling part isn't that they are doing it. It is that your own brain is actively helping them. Back in the 1950s, a psychologist named Solomon Asch put a group of people in a room and showed them a line on a card, asking them to simply match it to another line of the exact same length. A toddler could pass this test, but there was a catch. Everyone in the room except one person was an actor, and they were all instructed to confidently, unanimously choose the completely wrong answer. What do you think that one real participant did, knowing with their own eyes that the group was dead wrong? 75% of the time, people abandoned their own reality and agreed with the group. Just to avoid the tiny, microscopic discomfort of standing out or being ridiculed, they chose to accept a reality they knew was false. That is the glitch in your human software. We have a deep, primal desire to conform, to keep the peace, and to believe that maybe everyone else just knows something we don't. There is a specific type of person who knows exactly how to exploit that glitch. We are conditioned to look for aggression in raised voices and clenched fists. Because of this, we completely miss what psychologists call covert aggression. This is the person who delivers a devastating insult perfectly disguised as a joke, and then tells you you're being too sensitive when you get upset. It's the coworker who promises to help you with a project, does absolutely nothing, and somehow spins the story so you end up apologizing to them for not giving clear instructions. These people are emotional architects. They don't force you into a cage. They build the cage around you and make you think you chose the paint color. They do this by relying on very specific laws of behavioral control. One of their most effective tools is selective honesty. They will drop just enough truth to disarm you and make you feel like you are in their inner circle, while intentionally hiding the crucial information that would actually allow you to make an informed decision. They create an illusion of dependency. They step in to help you when you are vulnerable, but nothing they do ever comes for free. They are creating a ledger, making you feel so indebted to them that when they eventually cross your boundaries, your own guilt prevents you from fighting back. And their absolute favorite weapon is playing the victim. You could have a flat tire, and they will immediately pivot the conversation to how lucky you are to even own a car, while they suffer the hardships of public transit. They drain the emotional oxygen from the room, making sure your problems always feel entirely insignificant compared to their manufactured tragedies. Why do they operate this way? It comes down to a psychological trifecta known as the dark triad, comprised of narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. People who lean into these traits operate on a completely different emotional frequency than you do. To them, every interaction is a transaction. They lack empathy, meaning your emotional pain does not register as a deterrent to them. It simply registers as leverage. And they know exactly who to target. They don't go after the loudest person in the room. They look for conscientiousness. They look for empathy. But most of all, they look for people suffering from imposter syndrome. If you already have a voice in your head constantly telling you that you aren't good enough, or that you are an intellectual fraud, a manipulator only has to whisper to make you believe it. They will subtly magnify your self-doubt until you no longer trust your own judgment. So how do you stop fighting a ghost? How do you defend yourself against someone whose entire strategy relies on you not noticing what they are doing? You stop listening to their words. Words are the easiest things in the world to fake. They are consciously chosen and heavily filtered. Instead, you have to look at the leakage. The physical tells that their nervous system simply cannot hide. More than half of all human communication is entirely nonverbal. When a manipulator is lying to you, they might have rehearsed the perfect script, but their body is still reacting to the stress of the deception. You just have to know where to look. Forget the old myth that liars can't look you in the eye. A skilled manipulator knows you expect them to look away, so they will overcompensate. They will lock eyes with you, unblinking and perfectly still, holding your gaze for a little too long as they try to physically dominate your perception of the truth. The real truth always hides in the mismatch. It's the person verbally agreeing to your idea while their jaw is locked in a tight, stressed clench. It's the micro-expressions, the tiny, involuntary flashes of real emotion that cross a person's face for just a fraction of a second before they plaster the fake, charming mask back on. Watch the smile itself. A genuine smile reaches the eyes, crinkling the edges. A fake smile stops at the teeth, entirely devoid of warmth. And don't just look at their face. Look at their feet. You can be in a fascinating conversation with someone who is smiling and nodding at every word you say, but if their feet are pointed squarely at the door, their brain has already left the room and they are just playing a part. Once you start seeing these physical cues, the illusion begins to break. You realize the terrifying wizard is just a deeply flawed person pulling levers behind a curtain. But seeing the manipulation is only half the battle. You have to neutralize it. When you finally realize someone is playing games with your reality, your immediate primal instinct will be to fight back. You will want to argue. You will want to gather evidence and logically prove to them that they are wrong. Do not do this. When you argue with a manipulator, you are validating their premise. You are playing their game, on their board, using their rules. If they accuse you of something completely ridiculous just to get a rise out of you, and you spend 20 minutes passionately defending yourself, they win. They don't care about being right. They care about controlling your emotional state. Every time you try to correct them, you are just giving them more data on exactly which buttons to push. Instead, you use a technique called invalidation, not by being cruel, but by becoming utterly emotionally unresponsive to their tactics. When they try to bait you into an argument with a dramatic, exaggerated claim, you don't defend yourself. You just look at them calmly, say something completely neutral like, "I can see how you would feel that way," and then you change the subject. When they give you the silent treatment to punish you for setting a boundary, you don't chase after them begging for forgiveness. You let them be silent. You enjoy the quiet. You completely starve them of the emotional reaction they are desperately trying to extract from you. To truly insulate yourself, you have to break a habit that was drilled into you from the time you were a child. The habit of asking for permission. We are socially conditioned to seek approval. We want the people around us to validate our choices and tell us we are doing the right thing. But when you seek validation from a manipulator, you are handing them the keys to your reality. You are giving them the ultimate authority to dictate your self-worth. You have to recognize that your boundaries do not require their understanding. Your choices do not require their approval. You have a fundamental human right to prioritize your own well-being, to express your opinions, and to say no without carrying a shred of guilt. No is a complete sentence. You do not owe them an explanation, because an explanation is just another negotiation tactic to them. This shift in perspective is uncomfortable. Realizing the people you interact with on a daily basis might be actively trying to control your decisions can feel deeply unsettling. It strips away a layer of innocence about how the world works. But it is also the most liberating realization you will ever have. Because the moment you stop operating on autopilot, the moment you start actually paying attention to the mismatched smiles, the forced eye contact, the subtle guilt trips, and the manufactured drama, the strings simply fall away. You stop being a supporting character in their script, and you finally start writing your own. But it leaves you with one final, slightly uncomfortable thought to sit with tonight. Now that you know exactly how the invisible strings of manipulation work, and exactly how remarkably easy it is to pull them to get what you want, how often have you been the one holding them?
Follow Psych Eyes. Your brain will thank you.